Hello, people. Welcome back to the Dream Stay Living podcast. It has been some time since we've been here, and life's been amazing. Life has been great. Things have just been going so well. Back here in Medellin, Colombia, I've been around. I think last time we spoke, I was in La Paz, Bolivia, doing the Jacob Donahue interview, I believe. A lot has gone down since we've last spoke, since I've came on here, and today's going to be a very exciting episode because I'm going to be talking about this very special day for me. I just hit my year of being sober, of not drinking alcohol. And this is a really, really big milestone for me. It's been something that was a big part of my life, pretty much most of my life, from the age of like maybe 18 onward. I drank a lot, and it was just normal for maybe it is for some of you. Alcohol just being a normal part of life. And this year was so transformative for me, and the neural networks that were left behind, the new ones that were created, is just something worth talking about. So I want to preface that I'm not here to put shame on your life and your relationship with alcohol if you know you gave me the honor of listening today. I'm only here to bring my experiences to light and the lessons that I've learned, and that's exactly what podcasting should be about, right? I'm not here to teach you anything. Maybe there's things that I say that you find value in that you can use in your life, but I'm simply using this platform to talk about my life, my experiences, and if I can help one freaking person with this episode, then to me it was absolutely worth it. Now I help 100 people with this episode that maybe are quietly dealing with some problems or don't even know they have a problem with alcohol because it's so goddamn prevalent in society. So we're going to go through a lot of things today, and I have some notes, but as you guys know, sometimes I just like to riff off the top of the dome. And if I start profusely sweating, it's because I'm in Medellin, Colombia. My house doesn't have AC, and that's okay, but it's hot. It's hot in here. So this episode is for the person that believes they're maybe leaving something on the table. I believe that if you can resist alcohol for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that will be the stepping stone to really achieve some amazing things in your life that you want to. And it's working for me in this moment. I believe that alcohol is just the easiest thing that we go to when things get a little bit difficult. And I thought of this quote the other day. I was like, it just came to my mind. It's just like, you know, they say there's the old adage that the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard. I also would add to that the wealthiest place in the world is also the bottom of a bottle, because that's where a lot of great ideas go. That's where a lot of action goes, because people don't take action because, you know what? They get excited and they go drink, and then the effects of the alcohol absolutely deter them from taking action, unfortunately. And it's addicting, right? Because it's like, I had this amazing energy and this idea while drinking, but the next day I didn't take action at all. So I wanted to go back and drink more. And I'm not saying this is everybody, but a lot of great ideas, and because ideas need fulfillment. You need to go and take action on your ideas. It's nice to have great ideas, but you need to take action, and I believe just people replace action with drinking. That happens. So I wanted to talk today about like why. We'll start with that. I think that's just a good place to start. Why did I decide to do a year sober? Some things that I have written down throughout this year, some breakthroughs that I had, some challenges that I had, some things that I think could be useful for the listener. Answer the big question, do I plan on going back to drinking now after this? I think it would be a noble thing to address. And yeah, we're just going to have fun today. just gonna speak raw. I appreciate anyone who's here listening, and yeah, just gonna give it to you that way. So, about a year ago, about a year ago today, I decided to give up alcohol for a year, and I was at this point in my life. I was living in Rhode Island, and before living in Rhode Island, I had spent the last almost 8 to 9 years living in California. Had an amazing 20s. My 20s were awesome, like so damn good. So amazing. I left Rhode Island when I was 21 years old and moved to California and just built the best life ever. It's been absolutely incredible. Last year, moved back to California, wanted to spend some time with family, wanted to test the waters to see if maybe it was time for me to come home. Got back to Rhode Island and kind of realized that some things were inside of me, like, whoa, I don't feel good here. And what happened when I didn't feel good before? Well, it'd be easy to go out and drink and do these things, and that would lead to overindulgence in booze. And, you know, I love all my friends in Rhode Island, but there was a few things that were said to me that scared the shit out of me. One of them was I was out with a bunch of guys that I grew up with, and these guys, like, they're amazing dudes, great dudes, living in Rhode Island, just to have a little bit more of a simpler life, which I respect. And they go to the bars all the time. That's what they like doing, and they get inebriated. And we were at the bars, and I was actually sober this night. I was taking like a month off of alcohol at this point, or no, maybe just a week off of alcohol, I forget. But I was sober this night, and one dude had said something along the lines of just like, "Oh, we got another one of the boys back," and that freaked me out. I also had another time, I had a bunch of guys were out drinking, and dude put his arm around me. He's like, the band's back together. And, you know, this is beautiful, right? It's nice to have these relationships and people care about you, but this is exactly what I spent the last 8, 9 years, like, building my life away from, not building an average life of just working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and then boozing on the weekends, which a lot of people do, and that's just their life. And they do that their whole life. That's just not why I believe I'm here. So these things started to freak me out. I was just like kind of rejecting the feelings a little bit but still having like one foot in, rejecting it but still having one foot in, like still, you know, like, yeah, the band's back together, and still drinking with the boys and just being like, dude, what am I doing? Like, these people are still getting inebriated and we're almost 30 years old. It was just, didn't really make sense to me. And I knew in my conscience, like, that's not where I wanted to be. I had also had met a girl in Thailand, and this girl, amazing girl, she was living in Germany. She's Polish, and she flew to Rhode Island, and we were gonna start a relationship together. And I found myself like, when I would drink a lot in that relationship. And I also felt like I was kind of just being in this relationship because I felt like it was the thing to do. Like, I just moved home. This girl's cool, but I didn't feel like energetically she was the one. And she was really helpful for me with the journey, so I give a shout out to her, because she believed in me so well, and she also, I believe she understood like we weren't meant to be together, but she believed in me so well that she would challenge my drinking. She'd be like, you know, like, you're doing all these great things with Dream State and this, like, why are you drinking? But she would say it very respectfully, like not attackingly. So she asked me some good questions, and she made a lot of great points. So she was a big part of me, like, kind of making this final decision. And I was just like, sat with myself, and I thought about the times in my life when, sorry if you guys can hear the beeping, I got to keep my phone on because I got some raw milk, and my farmer is coming to deliver me stuff, so I need to make sure I'm available for him. I don't want to keep putting this off. So I just had these I had to sit down with myself and I thought about, okay, when you did take time off of drinking in the past, what had happened for you? And I that's a good question. That's a really good question. And maybe ask yourself that question. And when I asked myself that question, it was just like, well, life just got better. My health got better. My money got better. My relationships got better. My relationship with myself got better. My confidence got better. Why are you doing this? It's a good question. Well, because it's fun. It's fun. It's a way to let loose. We think we deserve things. So yeah, that's why I did. I did it for the same reasons that everyone else does it. It's because what everyone else is doing, and it's fun, and yeah, it's cheap dopamine. So I really started to ask myself the questions, well, who are you? And where are you going? Who do you want to be? What does Ethan next year look like? And those questions, going deeper into those questions, got me to make the decision that, let's just do a year. I can do anything for a year. I can do anything for a secluded amount of time. Use the old AA model, which I wouldn't say I'm like an alcoholic. My brother is an extreme alcoholic, so I understand there's levels to this. So I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic, but the AA motto and the steps are very useful for just personal development in all areas, because I believe any type of substance abuse, whether that's alcohol, drugs, food, or anything, it comes down to a relationship with yourself, and what these steps can do is really help you with that relationship. So one thing that they talk about in AA, which we all probably know, is just take one day at a time. And this is just a really beautiful motto for life in general, like just take one day at a time. And that really helped in the beginning with this, because the beginning was a little bit more harder than it got down the line. So that's kind of how we had gotten started with this. And throughout the year, it was fairly challenging in the beginning, because I knew I wasn't going to drink. Like, yeah, the whole one day at a time is valuable, but I knew I was going to make it the year. And that could sometimes freak you out a little bit. It's like, man, that's a long time. And I started this in August last year, and in September I went and traveled in Europe for a month. So my fucking second month of being sober, I went to Oktoberfest. Yeah, I went to Oktoberfest in fucking Munich, Germany, where people are just getting drunk, and I was with my ex at the time, and she was drinking, she was having fun, as she should have. And I'm just sitting here drinking a non-alcoholic beer, feeling like an absolute idiot. I didn't feel like an idiot, but I'm using this for kind of to add some humor to it. I felt good. I felt good about my decision, but it was challenging. I was in Barcelona, Spain, walking around the Gothic district, seeing people just drinking wine and enjoying their life, and going through Roma, Italy, being in Germany, and just not drinking. And I had always dreamed when I was younger of going throughout Europe and drinking a $5 delicious bottle of wine on the street, and I didn't get to have that. And what helped me in that time was to think about, like, how good is it going to be for my confidence that I resisted probably some of the hardest temptations? And what is this going to do for my brain? And understanding that really helped me push through those hard times. And then as I was able to get through that, going to Oktoberfest, being in Rome, being in Spain, and not drinking in some of the most temptatious environments you can think of, it gave me a lot of confidence down the line for the rest of the time, being like, hey, if I could get through Beer Fest without drinking out of a glass boot, get that reference? If I can get through Beer Fest without drinking out of a boot, I can get through pretty much anything. So that gave me a lot of confidence after getting through that month in Europe of making it through, and these new neural networks were being formed. And when you no longer have alcohol being this one thing that is just such a part of your life that you go to when things get a little bit challenging, your brain starts to develop new ways to handle when things get challenging. And this was really beautiful. So for the past 15 years, I had this thing that I would utilize when life got stressful or when I wanted to make boring shit fun. I would go to this thing. And when you no longer have that thing, you're stuck with what? You're stuck with yourself. You're stuck with your thoughts. And in those hard times is a lot of beauty. It's uncomfortable beauty. And then you start to come up with reasons. Why do I feel this way? Why am I compulsive? This was a big thing that I learned throughout my journey, is I tend to have compulsive behavior. And that's what led to me over drinking too. When I did drink, is because I was compulsive. I was the type of guy, it's just like going out to a bar, just compulsively, like, yeah, let's get 2 shots, let's keep it going, let's keep rolling, let's keep going, we're having fun, why stop, let's roll. Compulsive, just randomly, out to lunch, yeah, let's have a beer, why not? Just compulsively. And well, you would think without the alcohol, the compulsivity will go away, but it didn't. Because what I learned is it wasn't because of the alcohol I was compulsive, it was because of something else. I heard this a really long time ago, and it stuck with me throughout this journey, but if you have maybe an addictive personality, the things that you're addicted to are not because of it, they're the cure. They're not the problem, they're the cure. Alcohol wasn't a problem for me, it was a cure. The problem was something within me which led to me overindulging in alcohol and drinking a lot. And then without that cure that I would utilize to go to alcohol, then you start to really have to ask yourself these hard questions and figure out what is actually going on within me. What from my childhood do I need to work through? What from these other parts of my life do I need to work through? And this is a really noble thing to do for your existence. And that's not manly to do inner work. That's just a very stupid thing. When I hear some people say that, and I know people who act like that as well, just trying to white knuckle through life, and you're just doing yourself a disservice, because we all know, and you know, that you're suffering, and you can continue to put band-aids on, but that is very painful to continue to have to put band-aids on. So these weeds that need to be picked. And for me this past year, it was very, very successful in picking a lot of these weeds and leading to a lot more solid space in my mind. Calmness, peace, acceptance, beautiful things in my mind that I credit to this year off. I really credit to a lot of the wins that I've had over the past year to not drinking and to putting in that work. I credit to myself to put in that work. And when people would think I was crazy, I remember I ran a ultra marathon last year in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and someone who follows me on Instagram, after the trip I was with them, and someone else in the room would ask, "Hey Ethan, how was Mexico?" And this person goes, "Oh, he just worked out the whole time." I thought that was kind of funny, because in their mind that sounds awful, like what a waste of a trip to Mexico. But to me, I had the most beautiful trip ever in Mexico. I worked out a lot. I was training for an ultra marathon. Why I was there was for the ultra marathon. But I was creating relationships around healthy things, and I wasn't partying or doing these type of things, which other people, that's what they want to do when they go on vacation. They go to Mexico. So there's this saying, it takes 21 days to build a habit. I think I learned throughout this that I reckon that's actually just bullshit. I reckon that's bullshit. Maybe for some things, but to really have some success with anything, I think it takes a lot longer. and it takes a serious commitment, because anybody can do anything for 21 days. But when you can do something for 90 days, 180 days, 360 days, and that's when you start to really, I think, build these new neural networks and these brain patterns that will make it easier for you to commit to it down the line. So the reason why it seems so difficult for you to release alcohol right now is because you have all these neural networks that have been trained around this as your vice. This is the thing that you go to. This is the thing that brings you happiness. This is just beliefs that have been ingrained in you. They're not truths. They can be rewired for a life that is much more enjoyable without this vice that's been controlling you. But it's going to take longer than 21 days. I'd say my point is on that. So commit to more than just like 30 days off. I see people do like the sober January or sober October. I think it's going to take a lot longer than that for it to have some serious effects for your brain. I texted my brother today, my brother John, and he's been in recovery. I talked about this at the beginning of this episode, but he's been in recovery for going on 3-4 years. And I sent him my 1-year thing, and I didn't really share too much with him throughout this because I had trouble relating to his view of it. We're just different, and I had trouble relating to his view. And I'll touch on that in a second. And I had sent him my 1-year thing, and he had said exactly what we're talking about. These new neural networks have been formed, and it's probably easier for you now to resist it. And he asked me this question. He's like, think about how much more space your brain has for other things in life now that will bring you more happiness than this one thing. I thought that was really beautiful. And to kind of touch on and this can really help with anything, but sometimes it's tough to follow someone. Like my brother, we use this as an example. He's sober, but when I would think of his path to sobriety, it actually freaked me out, and it made me not want to work on this. You have to develop your own want. Mine, what I'm talking about today, can't be yours. Yeah, there's going to be some things that maybe will align with yours, but you need to really ask yourself, like, why? Because then it's going to be something that you can truly work towards when it's yours. My brother's reason for getting sober was he'd be dead. He would be dead if he continued to drink. That was hard for me to relate to. I never got that bad. Thank you, God, that I never got that bad. But would I be living out my dream life right now? No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would if I was still boozing all the time. Or even a little bit. I didn't booze a lot. Like, if you would have seen my drinking habits, you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I drink more than that. And that's a point in its own right there. But you need to develop your own reason for wanting to do this if you want to do this. So when we talked about it in the beginning, one of the first questions I had was, if you think you want more out of life and you think like you're leaving stuff on the table, well, identify your ideal life. Identify what it is that you want. And if it's a really, really like healthy, amazing, beautiful life, I believe that cutting out alcohol will get you there. And that version of what you might want, at least it was for me, the version of what I want, alcohol isn't sitting at that table. Alcohol does not sit at the table of the type of person I want to be. Just truth, or that's just what it is. So what are some habits that, and kind of coming off of this other point, so as you are no longer having this vice that literally you've used a lot in your life for fun, for enjoyment, and when you would do certain things, go out to dinner, you would go to a friend's house, it was revolved around this vice. When you no longer have that, well, if new things start to come up, what else do I want to do besides drinking activities? So this is where some new cool habits can come in. Maybe you pick up a new fitness routine. Maybe you pick up some ways to express creativity. You start joining a musical class or whatever. You get into some acting class. You start to pick up these new habits, and that's really beautiful. You'll also start to realize some bad things could show up that you were kind of shoveling down. This is the weeds that start to show up that you need to pick. So some bad habits that are there that maybe you didn't even really put attention to before because of your drinking. And when these bad habits would come up, you're like, oh, these bad habits are coming up because I was drinking last weekend and I feel like shit right now. But when these bad habits come up, for me it was compulsivity, some other things. When these things would come up, you start to figure out, like, why is this happening? And you start to dig out these roots and these weeds, and through working through it, and they no longer start to show up. That's really beautiful, to start weeding out these bad habits. Giving you some more peace of mind, not having as much monkey mind all the time is really beautiful. Now, as you start to work through some of these bad habits, and maybe you start to change the things that you do, which will definitely happen. You no longer hang out with ex-friends because they just really they drink all the time, and you'll find that it's actually kind of boring what they're doing. The reason why it was fun in the past is because drinking makes things fun. You can sit here and go on loop in the same conversation, but if you're boozing, it'll be fun. But a sober mind is not going to enjoy that. You're going to need some more intellectual stimulation in your life. So you might start losing some friends. It's okay. It's part of the process. If you got this beautiful rocket ship that you want to take to space, and this space is your new life, this location is your new life, well, there's only going to be X amount of seats on this rocket ship. So you're going to have to start doing some mise en place in your life. This is a really good thing, because if you're serious about getting better and doing great things with your life, you're going to have to wean out some people. And these people could be really great people. They just have different goals than you, and that's okay. You don't need to say, hey, fuck you, you drink, I'm done with you. No, it's respectfully. It's like, hey, man, I love you guys. I just, I'm not drinking anymore, and I really just don't want to go out on the boat all day. I got some things I want to get done. So I appreciate the invite, brother, and I hope you guys have a great day. Simple as that, just respectfully. One thing I wanted to talk about, actually before on that, now with friends, this is an important point. With friends, you're going to have a lot of pullback. Maybe, it depends on your relationships, but you're going to realize that you have friends, and then you've had drinking buddies. You haven't had friends. They actually don't give a shit about you. And a lot of these people could be very miserable. Misery loves company. That's why they like to drink with other people. This will be kind of a hard pill to swallow. You're going to realize this on some people. And you've probably already seen this while drinking with them, but this is what happens. It's like, yeah, but he was drunk, that's why he said that, or that's why he did that. He wouldn't actually do that. Yeah, but he did it. She did it. Alcohol are not involved. Alcohol should not give people excuses to be shitty people. Really sit with that one, because it is just a truth. Alcohol should not be an excuse for people to be shitty people. For someone to say, a 30-year-old man, even a 25-year-old man or woman to say, yeah, I did that last night because I was blackout. I don't know what's just been happening. I just blacked out. You get so inebriated with this substance that you completely lost track of reality, and you just did some crazy thing, and you think it's acceptable because you were inebriated? You think that's acceptable? That's sad. That is a sad excuse for a man or a woman, especially men. I'm saying that because I am a man. Especially men, leaders, to say that is a fucking disgrace. Sorry, I was just passionate on that one. It's just an absolute disgrace that you would do something so shitty and then you blame it on alcohol. Now, to speak on kind of like dopamine a little bit, you're going to start to realize, and this is what I realize, is, if I were to go and take a couple shots of tequila right now and go to a bar or a party, like that would be awesome. Let's just be real. That would be fucking fun. If it was like a great party or an Irish bar, people just getting rowdy, that would be fucking fun. That dopamine's gonna be way up here. But the next day or 2 days after, you're gonna be way down here. So when you live a sober life, you're kind of just at the good all the time, which I like. I like being there. You never really get way too high or way too low. You're just pretty much good all the time. I love that. I really love the consistency, because it's going to lead to you, when you have consistent dopamine in your body and in your life, it's going to lead to you being consistent in other areas of your life. This is going to become your norm, and you're going to find healthy ways to increase your dopamine. And it's like the backwards effect. Like for me to go out boozing right now would be essentially borrowing tomorrow's happiness. Well, another way to do it is if I were to go do a crazy hard workout right now, that'd be painful, but I'd feel really good the rest of the day. So it's a trade. It's a suffer for an hour doing something that's good for me, that's really difficult, for an amazing rest of the day. So it's a backwards trade-off there. Hope that makes sense. To talk on, I'm reading off some notes now as well. I just want to make sure I can make the best out of this episode, and I had written some things and want to keep it relatively short because I know people's attention spans are going down, and we got busy lives. So I appreciate you guys making it this far. So with your skin, I mean, your fitness, with everything is just going to get better. I don't want to go too deep into this stuff because this just is, you can listen to the Huberman podcast, you can do your own studies, you can ask ChatGPT, but it's the truth. The sleep is the biggest thing for me. I just love getting a good night of sleep. It's been such a norm to me now that I'm used to having really good sleep. And what this is doing for you on an energetic level. So when you're not having this thing that's fucking up your sleep like once or twice a night out of the week, that is just leading to you being happier more often, because when you're low on sleep, when you got bad sleep because of drinking, it's affecting your energy levels throughout the rest of the days. So this is how drinking on Friday and Saturday can really affect you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because you're still recovering, not just to get back to baseline, but because of the bad sleep and not catching up. And this is just making you unable to respond effectively to life's challenges, life's problems. You don't feel good, but when you don't have these things, you're getting consistent good sleep, you just tend to feel good. You just feel good a lot, and that's awesome. Especially as we get older. I'm 30 years old. My body does not respond as it used to alcohol. I could go hard in the paint in my early 20s, not anymore. So you'll see that there. And what's cool is you're going to start filling up your life resume with some cool shit, whether that's running a marathon, doing a high rocks, doing some healthy things that it's just like, those are fun things to check off the life bucket list. You know, I heard this one thing, it's like people at 30 either get married or run a marathon. But there's a reason why. It's because you're at a point in your life and you want to achieve some things. It's fun to achieve things. It's fun to check these things off the list. It's just like, oh, a marathon, that seems really hard, running 26.2 miles. Yeah, well, check it off the list. Do it. Now you're the type of person that can do it. I think, 10% of the world has ran a marathon, maybe a lot less than that, I'm not sure. But it's cool to be in that group. So there's these excuses that you might have now, or that society's trained you to have, that I kind of want to talk about. So most common excuses with drinking, and you probably use this right now. Yeah, but I'm the type of person, I only have one or two. Bullshit. One or two until the night that someone offers you a third, and you're like, oh, I usually don't do this. And then you have the third, the fourth. That's what happens. I only have one or two. Your intention was to only have one or two. You said you're only going to have one or two, but, oh, I'm feeling naughty tonight. I'm going to have the third, the fourth, the fifth. That's what usually happens. No one actually ever has just one or two. And if you do, why even drinking? Where's the fun in that? Just having one, getting like a little bit of taste, putting your foot in the water, but not going for a full dip. I mean, come on. If you're gonna dance with the devil, you might as well lead. You might as well get in there. Another things that come up. This could be some inner language, because these are excuses. I should really get a hold on this. They usually come up maybe after a night of going hard. You're 31 years old now, and you just got after it like you were 20, 19 again. And you have that thought like, why am I still doing this? I should really get a hold on this. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. You should really sit with that and just know that there's other people that are thinking the same thing, and maybe not bold enough to say it out loud. So maybe just say this to someone in your friend group. It's like, like, why are we still getting blackout? Why are we still going this hard in the paint at this age? Like, do you guys enjoy doing this? Ask the question, and maybe you'll get like what are you gonna get back on you gonna get on the sober thing, or do this, or might as well enjoy your life. This is enjoying your life? I don't really think so. This is making things that are unenjoyable enjoyable. You're settling for a boring existence by just continually going for this. So just know that these thoughts are not just your thoughts. Other people have these as well. And then if you're in a friend group, and I hear this a lot, a 35-year-old man saying, yeah, we're going to get blackout this weekend. That is sad. That's just sad. You are dying a slow death. You are dying a slow death if that's what excites you, to get blackout. Because basically what you're saying is, I'm going to get so inebriated that I'm going to just forget and not even live in my body. I'm going to get so detached from this that I'm not going to have the same painful thoughts that I'm having throughout the day, and having to understand how mediocre my life is. And I'm sorry this is very direct right now, but that's exactly just what it is. I'm gonna get so blackout because my life is so mediocre that this is the only thing that makes me happy and feels relatable to other people. Sorry, that's harsh, but that's just really what it is. If you are a grown-ass man and you're still looking forward to getting blackout, that's sad. A lot of people are waking up to this and understanding that there's a little bit of a problem, but they find comfort in the groups that they have, in the friendships that they have, and they find comfort in going out and like, let's get drinks. And if you said no, it brings them uncomfortable to that relationship. Well, it's gonna be uncomfortable. If you actually are serious about wanting to do this, it's going to be uncomfortable. Just how it is. Truth. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to get some backlash from peers, but that's okay. That's okay. There's this understanding of vibrational energy, and right now your vibrational energy is attracting the friends, the groups, the experiences that you have in your life. That could be here. Well, when you start to create a new vibrational frequency, let's call it over here, it's not like you one day just wake up and decide to be here. No, it's a process. It's a process of working towards here. So these friends that are already here, these people, these experiences, this life that's already up here, because there's people that are there, people that are way up there too, they are not going to accept you as the person that is still down here. The universe energy needs to see how serious you are. It's going to give you a lot of challenges between here and here. And it's going to test how serious you are. From here to here is where all these things come up. Is, no, just have one. Let's just go out and have one. Come on, you haven't gone out with us in 2 weeks. Just come on and let's go out and have a girls' night like we used to do. Or you get fired from your job. These are all things that are working for you. They're all working for you. And this is the big test. How serious are you? And as you continue passing the tests, then one day you wake up and your ass is fucking here, and this great life is waiting for you, and it welcomes you with warm arms. And that other life that is still down here is still trying to pull you down, but you become so immune to it. And within this awakeness, you're going to have a lot of friends that understand as well. It's like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, we do drink a lot, but we don't have it as bad as he does, or she does, or they do, right? People find comfort in comparison. And it's easy to see the scale of how bad some people are and how you are. And that's a scary place to be as well. It's like, yeah, I do drink a lot, but not as bad as my brother did. Man, you should hear about his stories that he used to have. So good thing I'm not an alcoholic like that. Everyone's an alcoholic, in my opinion. Everyone's an alcoholic. And if you study the science behind it, listen to that Andrew Huberman podcast about it. 1 to 2 drinks a month. It's like an alcoholic. How crazy is that? Who the fuck does that? I mean, yeah, maybe like 1 glass of wine at dinner, but I wouldn't even call that drinking. I wouldn't call that drinking. The drinking I'm talking about is getting inebriated. If you're the type of person that can have a beer or 2 or a glass of wine at dinner, good for you. I would like to be there. I would like to be there. Maybe I'm there right now. I don't know. I haven't drank in a while. So it's gonna be tough. But if you can't resist anything for a year, you're pathetic. And I'm sorry, that might be hard to hear, but if you're serious about wanting a better life and this is sticking with you, just remember that. Be like, wow, I'm pathetic if I can't withstand this for a year. Because that might be the thing that's going to help you get through the first few months that are going to be difficult. It's like, wow, I'm only 2 months in and this is this difficult. Like, who are you? Are you the type of person that can't do something for a year? Are you the type of person that's just like, hey, if this is going to be better for me, let's go. I'm all in. Those type of people I want to hang out with. Those are some interesting cats. Everything. So now we'll kind of get into we're about 42 minutes in. We'll kind of start doing some closing thoughts here. But the question of, do I want to get back into drinking? At this point, absolutely not. I have no interest. It's cool that I made this year. Maybe because throughout this year, I've been a hard no on anything. I wouldn't even taste at events or anything. I was like hard no's just because this is what I said I wanted to do. I didn't want to leave any chance for myself to feel like I didn't completely get through this. So I didn't have 1 drop of alcohol this last year. Maybe I will have a beer after doing something that I would deem to deserve it. I believe there's a really good earning of a type of alcohol, but I have no interest in getting that tonight, tomorrow, or the next day. I don't think I've earned anything from this year. I want to make that very clear. I don't think I've earned anything. This is just something that is really good for me, really good for my life, and I believe it would be really good for you. Everything in your life has a cost and a reward. So let's break down alcohol. What is the reward of alcohol? It's fun. It can help with connection. It does. It can help with connection. It can help you be more confident in social scenarios. So it's important to understand it, because the reason you do anything, by the way, is because it brings you some form of happiness. So there's that. But what is the cost? We've gone through a lot of the costs today with alcohol. So get clear on what your costs are. So anytime I'll do anything now is, what are the cost reward to this? If my girlfriend here in Colombia is like, hey Ethan, I really want to take you to a barbecue and I really want you to try this local Colombian drink. It's with alcohol. I'll probably say yes to that. Because what is the cost reward? For me to have this moment with my girlfriend and her family, and to drink this local drink with them and to have that experience, to me it weighs the cost of maybe I'll feel weird because I'll probably get fucking wasted actually off 1 drink. But I'll weigh those options down the line. Let's say I'm in Italy I've always dreamed of doing some wine tastings in Italy, so I'll probably drink down the line there. But I will happily say that I will never go back to drinking how I used to. I see no room for that in my life right now. I don't want to go out and drink with people that I don't love or don't care about. I thought about this a couple months ago. I was like, maybe one day if I do go back to drinking, I'll only drink with people I love. And maybe that is something that I leave it to exceptions to. But I want to be careful on that as well, because I love my brother Jake. My brother Jake likes to drink a lot. And I know that in those environments, if I have one, then on my guard will be down. I'll be more likely to have more. So I got to be careful. What's the cost reward here if I say yes to one or two? So I got to be careful on that, and I'm very aware of that. So that's kind of the cost reward thing I wanted to talk about. I think I have a good, and I know a lot of people have a hard time with this, but I have a good, I'm just good at moving on from things. I lived in California for 8 years. When it was time to leave, it felt like it was right. It was time to leave. Yeah, I love California. I miss it a little bit, but it's good. It was a part of my life, and I'm grateful for that part of my life. I don't sit here and talk about the good old days all the time, and it actually kind of bothers me when people want to bring that up all the time. It's like, that was in the past. Let's focus on the now. Let's enjoy the now, because that's all we have. We can't sit here and talk about the past and think about how great things were back then. It was the past. Let's make the best out of the now. And drinking and all the fun times that you had in the past, that could come up, and that could be hard to accept the fact that, wow, I'm not going to have that experience for a while. I believe this is a really good point to get on, because this actually did come up for me a few times. Wow, I was thinking of the parade, the Irish parade in Southie, Boston. Really fun time. Just drinking beers and having a good time, laughing, Irish, Boston. And I was like, man, that would be fun to be a part of and experience that. But then I realized, I did that. I did that a while ago. So instead of wanting to relive the past and relive these things that maybe brought me happiness back then, just be grateful that you had that experience, and then ask yourself, does that still align with who I am now? I think that's a really good point, because these old neural networks want us to go back to what we used to find really fun and enjoyable. But the type of person that you're building towards and being now, when I really thought about it, I was like, yeah, but I don't even know if the Ethan nowadays would really enjoy that how he did back then. The things that I've worked towards and I've built for my life, I don't know if I would still enjoy that. Maybe I would. But I start to romanticize about these old things. That's okay. It's normal. But just understand, you had that in the past. Just move on, man. Just move on. Move on to a much better life for you now. For you now. Maybe if I was sober in my early 20s, I probably wouldn't have had as much fun in my 20s, just to be transparent. But I'm 30 now. And I don't see it as the thing that would make my 30s that enjoyable. I think being healthy, being a good leader for my relationships, and if I decide to have kids, which I want, to be a good leader for them, that's what drives me now, not the things from the past. I had those experiences. I had that fun. I'm grateful for that fun. But I'm going to leave those in the past. It's the reason why I thought about this was a funny comparison. I was thinking of Tom Brady and the Patriots, and I was like, man, how cool is that growing up in New England, we had Tom Brady from 2001 to 2020 or whatever it was. And I remember moving to Los Angeles. We had T. Brady just throwing darts still for us, and we just were used to winning for so long. Well, things aren't looking so hot right now, but I don't sit here and dwell oh, we need another Tom Brady. We need this. We need to keep winning. No, I had that experience. I had my season of the Patriots winning all the time, and growing up with that. That was cool. That was awesome. It was a part of my life. But maybe that's just not where it's at now, and that's okay. That is okay. I'm grateful I had that experience. I'm going to close out there. I hope this was valuable for you guys. I plan to talk more about this. Sometimes these solo podcasts are a little bit challenging, but I hope you enjoyed this today. Please like, comment, let me know your thoughts, whether it's like you commented or it's just a DM on Instagram. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you guys. Much love. Bye.